Welcome.
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 Welcome. We are the Kata Girl Geeks.
We are the Kata Girl Geeks.
We are the Kata Girl Geeks.
Today we will share the origin story of the KGG, how we came about through our first challenge. You will see we used and still use the kata to develop our group. The patterns are intrinsic to the way we work and have enabled us to overcome obstacles and achieve far more than we ever thought possible. By thinking and acting scientifically, we have built a strong global learning community which is going from strength to strength.
The KGG is a global community of women learning to think and act scientifically and aiming to have a positive impact on our world. Kata for Good is a challenge we have been working on. We want to share examples of how our members are using Kata to improve their world, how they are using Kata for good, within their personal lives, their communities, and their organisations. Because we believe this could inspire others to also think and act scientifically. This story of our origin is the first of those stories that we want to share. To put this story into context, let's go back to June 2020.
Gemma had taken some kata coaching training and read the books, but realized that actually doing it was hard. She reached out to Tracy, who she knew through the Women in Link group, who then generously coached her for 6 weeks. And Gemma learned more. She continuously realized how much more there was to learn. Gemma asked Tracy, "Why isn't there a group for people learning this?" And Tracy said, "Let's start one." So back in 2020, we had our first weekly meeting, and we have continued every Monday ever since.
At the first meeting, there were lots of ideas and opinions. There were lots of different needs and wants from the members. We realized it was going to be a challenge to give value to everyone. It was going to be a challenge to make this group work. So what do we do when things are hard and we don't know how to do them? We use the improvement kata and the coaching kata. So we started a KGG learning group. Gemma was the learner. Julie Simmons was the coach. Set up a virtual storyboard on Mural. Included a live coaching cycle on Zoom, part of every Monday meeting.
So we established our vision at the time that we are a global and ever-expanding learning community of Kata Girl Geeks who have a positive impact on our world. And we created our challenge statement. Wouldn't it be wonderful if by December 31st, 2020, we are the Kata Girl Geeks, learning, sharing, and growing together. We identified the key metrics for this challenge. We wanted to track our meeting frequency and attendance, skill development of our members, and participation and collaboration of our members.
So, when following the 4-step improvement kata, once you've set your challenge, the second step is to grasp your current condition. We need to get a good understanding of where we are starting from. So, we started getting to know our members and asked everyone to self-assess their kata skill levels. What became clear was that we had a full range of skill levels in the group. Some were brand new to kata, some had been practicing for years, and everything in between. Everyone wanted to learn and be able to practice, and we wanted to find a way to deliver value to everyone, regardless of their experience or skill level.
This was our first target condition, one of the milestones set back in October 2020. We have simplified it slightly, but these are the key parts of our desired operating pattern. For new members, we wanted to offer them a virtual Kata coffee session to find out about how the group worked. We also wanted to offer all new members a chance to attend a virtual Kata training class. We wanted to establish learning groups, pairs of new learners and experienced coaches to work together. We wanted them to together self-assess their skill level, again using the skill assessment scale, And we wanted them to undertake daily coaching cycles with the learner working towards a challenge. In terms of weekly meetings, we wanted to have live coaching cycle and time for questions, feedback, and discussion. In order to be able to track if this process was working, we had some process metrics. We tracked how many attended the training, how many learning groups we had running, how many coaching cycles they were doing, and how many were attending our weekly meeting. And we had a key outcome metric, which we would measure at the end of 3 months around skill development. Once we had a TC, a target condition, we then could start experimenting our way forward, finding obstacles, and working to overcome them.
The first big obstacle we encountered was around learning. We did not know how to establish and support our learning groups. We didn't know how to put them together, how we could help them be successful. We did numerous experiments here through our first cohort. Over time, we developed our ways of working, our code, our guidelines, which makes it clear what is expected from the learning groups, how you get in one, how you become a coach, how long the coaching lasts, how often you are expected to meet, how you report back, how you share your learnings, etc. Particularly, we asked our learning groups to stick closely to the starter kata, true to the source. We are Rotharians. From our second cohort, when we had more coaches available as people joined, we added second coaches to coach the coaches, and we even sometimes have third coaches to coach new second coaches. A really important thing to mention here is the unwavering generosity that we saw. Our members were so quick to put their hands up to donate their time, energy, and attention for free. There was a real willingness of the coaches to develop others. Often we see coaches doubling up roles as first and second coaches. We wanted originally to start with 3 learning groups. The first cohort was 5 learning groups. Now, we usually have between 10 and 12 learning groups running each time.
Here you can see some of the learning groups. These women met for a coaching cycle each working day for 8 weeks. The learners learned to think and act in a scientific way by working towards their chosen challenge. The coaches deepened and developed their coaching skills, and friendships were formed. Learners would say things like, "I'm so grateful, and I can't believe I got all that learning for free." Coaches would say things like, "I'm so grateful, I can't believe I got all that learning for free." And second coaches would also say the same.
We found another obstacle. We did not know how to communicate effectively with the group and share information and resources easily. There were so many materials, links, pieces of information to share. How could we share everything so that it was easily accessible to all of our members? So we experimented with Mural, an online whiteboard. We co-created a central space to hold all of our shared resources.
So this is a high-level view of our mural. Up on the left, you can see our storyboard, where we document our progress toward our challenge. Top center is our participation space, where members sign in for our Monday meetings. Top right is our members area, where we share information about ourselves so we can get to know who is who and where they are in the world. Bottom left is our notice board, where anyone can share useful links, photos, and information about things going on in the community. At the center, you can see information about the Monday meeting schedule, who will be coaching live, what will be presented, what learning events are happening. Bottom right, you can see our resources area with various links and downloads organized in various pathways. This board is ever evolving and is updated almost every day.
Another obstacle we worked on was all around growing. We didn't know how to measure growth and learning in skill development. How could we see if we were actually learning week to week? How could we make our learnings visible? How could we see our progress and our growth? Through a discussion, Dorsey Sherman coined the term microlearning, a tiny burst of new knowledge. What if we recorded every time someone learned something new? So we experimented and asked every member to document at least one microlearning after every coaching cycle. The bar was set really low. This did not need to be life-changing or a huge revelation, just a tiny burst of new knowledge.
Here is a screenshot of some of the micro learnings from the learning groups. Each one is posted on a sticky note on our mural board. We recorded over 500 learnings during the 3 months. This practice built habits of intentional reflection. It became normal for each member to reflect and learn after every cycle. And we observed this accelerating our learning. Somehow, this reflection every day meant that we were more aware of our own learnings and we were able to learn from each other.
Another obstacle which we observed was that we did not know how to provide learning for all of our members, no matter their level of experience. We had some members who had only heard about the concept of the kata recently. We had others who had been practicing for years, and we had everything in between. We wanted to help every member learn and develop their skills and capabilities in scientific thinking. So we experimented and came up with an operating pattern for the weekly meeting. This included a live coaching cycle, so everyone got to observe a kata coach and a kata learner in action. New folks got to see the pattern of the questions and got familiar with how a typical cycle runs. Experienced coaches got to focus on how the coach was navigating the coaching and listen for any deepening questions. We also included a teaching moment where an experienced coach shares something, maybe something they have learned. Then we asked members to share their favorite micro-learning from the week. And we also have time for discussion and questions. We pack a lot into that 1 hour. We also continued with our weekly Kata coffee meeting. Rather than just being for new members, we opened it up for everyone. This is 30 minutes with no agenda, where we have a tour of our mural, get new members onboarded, and existing members have space to ask questions.
We also hold learning events. These are additional teaching sessions, presentations, workshops, deep dives, all free, developed and delivered by our members. They really show just how generous our members are with these continued donations of time and energy.
First and foremost, the most amazing thing to me is that we have built a global community of friends. Yes, we are all learning, but we are also there for each other. We have had to date 89 learning groups. 89 times a group of between 2 and 4 women have come together for daily coaching cycles for 8 weeks. We have had 3,500 coaching cycles. Around 100 of those have been live in front of the group, so they have learned by observing. We have provided over 700 hours of free training through learning events, workshops, and teaching moments. We are recognized as pushing the boundaries of kata. We are developing new tools and new techniques, new workshops and new ways of teaching and practicing kata, and new starter kata. Most importantly, perhaps, we have so far grown 20 new coaches, women who previously were not kata coaches, who now have the skills and capabilities to teach others how to think and act scientifically. The skills and capabilities to help people meet their challenges and change the world.
So what have we learned? The 3 key things we have identified are: first, communicate. Now that's easy to say and seems obvious, but we learned that we needed to be really clear about our identity, both within the group and externally. We also developed and communicated our ways of working, our expectations for members, our expectations for learning groups, our meetings. And always listen, tweak things if they are not working, and continually experiment. We regularly do member surveys to find out what is working and what is not.
Second is deliver value fast. Our members made it clear they wanted to learn, so we made it our mission to deliver knowledge. We provided a whole raft of free resources tailored for both brand new learners and experienced coaches. This is all about generously sharing. We made it easy for people to share within the whole group. One of the things we did that has been really popular is every time someone participates in a learning group, Gemma sends them a tiny button badge in the post, along with a KGG branded coaching card. The buttons change color each year, and this tiny gift costs very little but delivers huge value.
Thirdly, we learned how important it is to make it fun. Always welcome new members with open arms. Make the meetings a fun and safe place to be. We never share recordings of any of our meetings, as we want our members to feel safe to show up exactly as they are that day. Everyone needs to enjoy it, especially those running and organising things. Once, during the COVID lockdown, we lightened the mood by having a goat attend our Monday meeting over Zoom. This was a bit mad, but we all found it hysterical, as you can see here.
And yes, Mike Roden attended that meeting. Only time we have ever had a man attend. We actually invited his wife, Liz, up at the top and said she could bring a +1. He thought he was the special guest. But actually, Lulu, the goat, was the visitor we got excited about.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our story, and we hope that it inspires you to use Kata and scientific thinking to achieve big, important, seemingly impossible challenges.
We are the KGG. Thank you for listening.
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 Thank you for listening.